Hello, this is Scott Palka with the PBO Advisory Group, and today we'd like to walk you through how to populate our educational purposes only template for estimating forgiveness under Section 1106 of the CARES Act. As a reminder, this is not legal or professional advice. It's intended for educational purposes only, and the Act is changing literally by the minute, so please consult with the SBA website and also the Treasury Secretary's website to see if or how program rules may or may not have changed since the time of this video. So this is based on everything we know as of April 23rd, 2020 at 11 a.m. California time. The first step in using the calculator, or the template as we also call it, is to enter the loan amount of, and in this case, we got and these are all assumptions, but the loan amount is 1180000. So this client applied for and was granted a $1.2 million loan. Their funding date was April 23rd, 2020. And so the end of their 56-day forgiveness period under 1106 is June 18th, 2020. And here we're assuming that the day you got the loan doesn't count toward the 56, which is usually pretty traditional in the sense of the bank either counts the first day or the last day, but they don't count both. Check with your bank though, just to make sure you don't want to miss it by one day. The most important number you can know, and you can know this right now, is what is your denominator for your FTE ratio calculation. We have an article on our website that describes how to do this, and you will want to take either the lower of your head count in 215.19 to 630.19, and here head count's measured on a full-time equivalent FTE basis, or January 1st, 2020 through February 29th, 2020. In this particular example, this company had 88 people in that period. The current head count when they got the money is 50. And again, these are FTEs. So their FTE ratio is 56.8%. And we'll see how that becomes a very important number in this calculation. During the 8-week period, we believe that we did the budget with the client did the budget, or you'll do the budget, and we're going to say we think we're going to spend $250,000 on allowable non-payroll costs, which are going to be primarily rent and utilities. So there's $250,000. The gross compensation on the 50 people is $500,000. We are not restoring comp levels because we didn't reduce the comp levels. There's no rehired headcount here because the assumption is that we're only going to go with the 50 we have. There's no unemployment because these people have been on the books since the beginning of the year, so they've passed their unemployment cap, which in California is $7,000 per worker per calendar year. We provide a 401k match on a pay period by pay period basis that was estimated to be $10,000, and we have medical benefits that we will be paying of $30,000. So our estimated payroll is $540,000 for the 8-week period. And again, we're saying estimated because currently we're using this as a planning tool. Once the 56-day period is over, we're going to use this as a measurement tool. But it'll be the same formulas. It's just that at that point in time, you'll be actually adding up what you really spent. This is what you're expecting to spend. So the $540,000 comes down to row 20 from row 18. The $250,000 we spent on rent and utilities is limited by an SBA rule that says you can't ask for more than 25% of your non-payroll spending to be forgiven. So that means we're limited to $180,000. So our gross forgiveness request is $720,000. Our FTE ratio is 56.8% from the calculation we did when we started, which means we can ask for $408,000 of forgiveness off the loan. We believe the bank has no reason to not give us that. So we'd look at our 1180 loan amount, subtract our $408,000 of forgiveness, leaves us with a loan outstanding of about $771,000. And then we look further and we say, okay, the bank gave us essentially $1.2 million. We spent $800,000. We have $400,000 of loan proceeds that are unspent at the end of the period. We believe the bank is highly likely to ask for that money back based on the Secretary's comments of today. So that means the net loan outstanding after we would make a prepayment or a repayment, whichever you want to call it, $390 would be $381,000. And we also racked up $38,000 of FICA on those 50 people. That FICA should be deferred under Section 2302, and we would pay that off at the end of year 2021 and the end of year 2022. So now we go and we're in the planning mode and we say, well, we'd like to bring some people back. Let's bring back 15 people and see what that looks like. So we say, okay, that would change our FTE to 65, and it changes our headcount ratio to just under 74%. Our rent and utilities are not going to change because of the additional people. The gross comp on the first 50 people is not going to change. We didn't have to restore comp levels because we didn't reduce them. The extra people that we rehired are going to cost us $150,000 in that 8-week period. And again, these don't have to be the same people. They just have to be the same headcount. So it's not that you have to rehire the same people. Obviously, there's probably a major plus to rehiring the same people because they're already trained. We're assuming that these are new people so that we're going to incur some unemployment costs for California unemployment of $6,300. And because our 401k plan lets people become immediately eligible, we believe that we would be spending $12,000 on our 401k match, and that also our medical benefits, which are immediate, would go to $39,000. So our spending becomes $707,000 in the period. Because we spent more on payroll, we can now ask for more forgiveness for our non-payroll. So that request is up to $235,000. Our gross request is up to $943,000. We use the 74% factor. That gets us to a forgiveness estimate of $700,000. So we borrowed 1.180. We're getting $700,000 forgiven. So that leaves us with a loan outstanding of $483,000. But as we see in this calculation, we didn't spend $222,000. So if we take the $222 and repay that, our loan outstanding after we repay the unspent portion is $260,000. So this illustrates how the program is designed to work by the legislature, and that is we actually will owe less money because we spent more money and we brought people back. And the intention of the PPP was simply put to keep America working, keep the paychecks flowing. Private business is extremely more efficient at distributing money to employees than the states are to distributing unemployment checks. And this was a short-term idea to essentially privatize unemployment and also have workers ready so that we could have a rapid V-shaped type recovery. So now we're going to go to our third scenario here, which is called the full return scenario. And in the full return, we say, let's return all 88 people. And so our 250 is still our 250. Our 500 is still our 500. Our additional compensation over the 500 is now increased to $330,000 because now we've added 38 people to payroll. Our state unemployment has gone up to $16,450. And again, this is assuming that these are all new people. When we do this calculation, and when you do this calculation, you'll make your assumptions as to whether you're going to rehire existing employees or if you're going to hire new people. Our 401k match is going to go up to $15,000 in this example, and our medical is going to go to $52,800. So our spending under the CARES Act definition is $914,000. Again, because we spent more on payroll, we are able to request more forgiveness for our non-payroll, and now we're not limited at all. So our 250, we can ask for the entire 250 to be considered for forgiveness. So we're asking gross forgiveness of $1,164,250. Our headcount ratio is 1-to-1, which is the max. That's as good as it can be. So we believe that we would be given forgiveness of $1,164,250. Our initial loan outstanding is $1,180,000. We subtract $1,164,000. We are left with a loan outstanding after forgiveness of $15,000. Coincidentally, we didn't spend $15,000, so we can just take that, give that money back to the bank, and we owe nothing. So by taking our employee count from 50 to 88, we essentially have spent virtually all the money that we were allowed to in our application, and we have 100% forgiveness. We do have a $64,000 deferred FICA, but we had the benefit of having 88 people for 8 weeks, and I'm sure we found a way to make them as productive as we could. So as you use this, if you have comments or questions, you can submit them through our website, and Thank you for your time and good luck using our template.